Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the patch 09 improvements to traps. There were several of them. I mentioned this in my update 9 video on my main channel yesterday, but I want to do a little bit more testing, and the trap that I chose was a spring trap. I love it, but it just doesn't do any damage, doesn't slow down larger enemies. So the first improvement that I'm going to take a look at is that traps will now cause damage to larger enemies and sometimes knock them down. So up until now, I've been just using the Bone Maker and the Hokey Pokey. I like the spring trap, like I said, just haven't used it because, for example, Titans are not phased by it. Those are the big red dudes that have a fetish for walls. As you can see, I'm at Castle Trapzilla, a lot of walls, so not going to do anything against those guys. So that's what I'm going to be testing out in this video, and just taking a look at the spring trap. I'm sure that the fly swatter trap probably does the same thing. I haven't taken a look at it yet. So I thought, if I'm testing spring trap, I know where I got to set up. I know where I got another base. And this is my original server, my Coliseum battle arena that I built. And I actually added some spring traps because I tested out a lot of enemies in this video. So let's start harassing some enemies. So up first is a regular cannibal. He hopped down in here, so I just figured I'd let him die. And as you can see, he did. This is how the spring trap has always worked. Next up, we have a heavy cannibal. Now, as you can see, after patch 09, after a few shots, he's dropped his weapon. He's dead. He's out. Next up, we have a Titan. The red dudes, the smashers of walls. And while it seems like he's taken a few more, there's one more for good luck there. He's out for the count, dead. Here's a John 2, Slinky, Caterpillar, whatever you call them, getting bounced all around. Now, this was an improvement. The John 2 apparently wasn't triggering a lot of traps. Can't remember if I tested a John 2 against a spring before. However, I'm pretty sure if I did, it didn't do that right there. As you can see, dead. Next up, we have a demon. Now, I know I played around with a lot of demons at this Coliseum. As you can see in this segment, I've added a lot more turtle shells, a lot more spring traps, because now I'm getting into the harder enemies. Now, this demon, it took a while for him to die, because you can see he hits one, he's falling down, he's having some type of seizure, I'm not sure, but I'm not calling an ambulance, I'm not calling medical attention. I'm just letting him have whatever problem he's got going. That one got him, though. The spring trap. They're just ruthless. Look at this guy. He's out. He's dead. That last barrage. Deadly. Now for an Armsy. Now the Armsy was added in Update 8, and as you can see in that hole there, there's a couple of spring traps that it hits, but it doesn't seem to be triggering any of the spring traps that are placed on the floor. And the reason why I have a hole in the middle of the floor, by the way, is because that's how, using console commands, I can spawn in enemies. But anyways, you can see the Armsy's just running right across the traps that are placed on the floor. So what I decided to do was go down to the beach and place some spring traps and see what happens. But I guess you gotta have feet to trigger a spring trap. Oh well. So now for the demon boss. And while it didn't take as many traps, it did take a long time to get him to succumb to his wounds. But as you can see, eventually, he just didn't have any spring in his step. Now for the mutant boss. And as you can see, I had to add a lot of spring traps for this guy. Had to have a lot of patience as well. But mutant boss is definitely bouncing around. He's not too big to be thrown in the air with the spring trap. And but he just threw a rock at me. And eventually I had to pull my shotgun out for crowd control, because it does, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Mutant baby into space. If you've never done a spring trap against a mutant baby, you gotta try it out. This freaking hilarious, especially a group of them. But anyways, as you can see, eventually, I promise you, I did not shoot him with the shotgun, but the spring traps did the job. It just took a while. So the last improvement I'm going to take a look at is the ability to place traps on slopes now. So this is an old clip from my Frontier style fort that I had completed a while back, and as you can see, the bone makers are on the platforms because I had to, but now you can place them directly on the ground going down a slope. And Oh, by the way, love the batch placement like I'm doing right now instead of having to pull out your manual every time. But I'm looking back up the hill where platforms were before. Not now. Just place them directly on the ground. So that's it for this video. As always, thank you for watching and hope to catch you in the next video.